strength, and hopefulness in the specific area of the BDA toolkit and the 12 steps of DA. Welcome, John.
John Detter, under earner. Thinking I should stand up because I don't talk very loud. Or halfway at least. Thank you, Christina. I should get something off my chest real quick. I'm up here because of my PRG. Sometimes I actually follow their directions and do my action plan. I'm from the beverage program originally, and you don't ask to lead a meeting, but I'm moving to Spokane, Washington with my family in about a month, and my last PRG, they said, oh, is there anything else? And I said, yeah, I always wished I could lead that meeting on Saturday morning. Just in passing, I was saying it. And they said, well, you should ask them. Ask them. Yeah, just ask them. You don't do that. You don't ask to lead a meeting. So thank you for acquiescing. Lame ass request. There's a lot of people here. About 10 new people. Welcome. If you don't hear anything that makes any sense out of my mouth, I understand. Go to another meeting. Don't let this be the line in the sand for you that keeps you from coming back. So I showed up here in 2002 with lots and lots of vagueness. I've been cultivating vagueness my whole life, I think. I was raised in West Covina by two very nice religious parents. Didn't have a lot of money, had a lot of hand-me-downs. My mom would get donations from people. All right, I should back up real quick. I prayed to have my higher power speak through me, so I don't even know what's going to happen here. I don't know where that's coming from, that new thing. That wasn't what I thought about. I had a great talk yesterday at work. You should have heard it. Another good one on the way home from work. Not so good in the shower this morning. And it's been downhill since. She would get hand-me-down, or donations from people that she would then pass on to the appropriate collection agencies for clothes and things like that. And I kind of got first shot at that stuff. And I didn't mind it. I didn't really mind it. It was always nice just getting new clothes, whether they were brand new or not. We lived in the same house our whole lives. They never had a new car. My dad, in hindsight, had dreams of being an entrepreneur, but they never worked out. With a friend, they had a porta potty business that had fiberglass molds that they were making in the porta potties, and I guess there just wasn't a lot of demand for porta potties back then. He had greeting cards that he was trying to sell. I mean, this is all stuff I found as we were cleaning out the garage after they passed away. He loved airplanes, like real airplanes, and he wanted to fly. He was in the Air Force, but as a mechanic, because his eyesight wasn't great, and he had a dream of having a mechanic place in an airport, and that never happened. But he worked. He got up super early in the morning, went to work, went to the gym a little bit, came back, we had dinner, and then he'd work all weekend around the house, whether it was working on cars or trimming those goddamn bushes we had all over the house. He showed me what a work ethic was, and I wanted nothing to do with it. Not that I didn't want anything to do with it. I had ADD, and I just couldn't show up, Abbott and Costello on Channel 9 was just way more important than trimming bushes. Or so it felt. Or maybe I should say I got a lot more relief from watching Abbott and Costello than I did from trimming bushes. Wow, that was fast. So, 2002. Been sober for a while, showed up here. A bunch of people that I knew from the beverage program were here and were glad to see me. I was actually at this meeting another night and heard somebody talking about under-earning. And I thought, oh, wow, there's a word for that? I didn't even know, because that's what's happening here. I'd gone back to school. I should say I went to school in 1997 and got a degree in film production, which everybody needs one of those. Especially if you're going to work in film, you got to have one of those. Everybody respects you when you have a film degree. Especially the groups and the camera guys you're working with. Because you can't actually step up and do what you went to school for. I thought I wanted to be a director of photography, and it was just too terrifying once I showed up on set and watched what was going on. Mark, who was here a minute ago and stepped out, we actually worked together on something, and the only thing that I really ever shot. He was great. He was really great. It was before I was ever in this room. So I showed up. I had a PRG pretty early, like earlier than I think a lot of people do, and because I had no money coming in at all. I was married 3 or 4 years. We had a baby, and it was rough. It was really rough. My dreams were not coming true the way I thought they were going to at all. Nothing was happening the way I thought it was going to. Even the union that I was in, they had a career counselor because everything was going to Canada and people were freaking out and there wasn't enough work. And other people needed help, so I started showing up for that. And the career counselor was like, maybe this isn't the field for you because, you can't seem to make the phone calls to the people that you know to ask them what they're doing and if there's any work out there. And that was a bit of a blow because I had this film degree and didn't know what else I would do without that. But my first PRG said, we got to get you earning and you got to buy some clothes. And you got to spend $50 a month to buy clothes. And I thought, how am I supposed to do that when I don't have any money coming in? And they're like, don't worry about that. You just have to go shopping and spend $50 on clothes. Doesn't make any sense, I know. And the situation of my clothes, so it's 2002. The grunge thing was kind of over, but the clothes that were new years ago had kind of fallen into the grunge scene just sort of fine, and then deteriorated from there. So I started, trying to show up. I got a sponsor, started working the steps out of the yellow book. And he was great. I don't know how he said yes to sponsoring me, but he did. I don't even remember asking, but shortly after that, he was also the one that gave me PRGs with Mindy for a long time then. And it was all very gentle and encouraging. And the strangest thing happened is I started getting work in film production. And I loaded a lot of film for a long time, which is a job that is a starter job, and it's a job that you do once or twice, and then you move up, and nobody was moving me up. I always had this feeling like they're going to see my potential through this cloud of disorganization, and they're going to pluck me out and see that I'm special. That never happened. It still hasn't happened. And I don't know that it's supposed to happen. I don't know, that'd be kind of creepy, really. But the cloud of disorganization never went away. Actually, that's not true. It got a little better. I take that all back, actually. I was doing a lot of stuff. I made a goddamn good sandwich for a lot of people. I made coffee. I got ice so they could have their vodka and tonics at the end of the night. I did all kinds of stuff that wasn't part of the job description. The other thing that was really rough is I flashed a lot of film, just being so scattered and disorganized. And it's so embarrassing to, we've spent hours and hours of work, and I've possibly just destroyed everything. And to go to the director of photography and the producer and say, look, this is what happened. And the producer invariably had been a loader at one point, and it always said, like, oh yeah, that only happens once. Yeah, you learn about that. And I'm like, dude, you don't even understand. Like, you don't want to know how many times this has happened. But it never affected anything. So film's a lot more resilient than you think. During this time, I was always trying to think of other ways to earn money, because I always needed more money. And I'd have these side jobs. In the darkroom, you have your own kind of space. So I was sewing these things, I was doing these things. And then the thing that happens with me is if I'm doing something on the side, then the actual work becomes an interruption to what I'm doing on the side. And my real work suffers, and then they are not happy. And when you make your livelihood from people that you need to keep happy, that doesn't go well. So in the darkroom, I built a Steadicam system and tried that out. I thought, if nobody's going to let me do something above this, I'm going to do it on my own and see. Give it one more shot. If this doesn't work, then I got to find something else to do. And it's just too old. It's too hard to do. I didn't care about it enough to really put the effort in, like a lot of things in my life I've had. So I let that pass. I was very successful at building that Steadicam. It's still out there these days doing work, and the guy that I sold it to loves it. And I had the most fun of my whole career building that thing, which I had to pay attention to because that sort of transitioned me into what I do now. We bought a business here, my wife and I, from another member, and it was a dog walking business, and we did that for a couple of years, and that was profitable, but a lot of work. And walking around, walking dogs can be contemplative, and I thought, what am I going to do when I grow up? And something that my dad had suggested years and years and years ago popped back into my head. He suggested that I might look into doing prosthetics for people with amputations. And it sounded interesting, but the school was up in Spokane, Washington, where I'm actually moving. It's strange. And I thought, yeah, that's great, but I'm in a band and I don't need to do that. So, anyways, I looked into it a little bit more, and it made use of pretty much all my skill sets, and I had to go back to school again. The only thing is, I had been earning a fair amount at this point, and I was going to have to take a huge pay cut, like no pay at all, to go back to school. And once I started in the field, there's 2 years of residency where you make next to nothing while you learn your craft. Wrap it up. Okay. Anyways, I knew I was going to have to debt to go back to school. There was no way I could afford it. My wife wanted me to go really soon and get this over with, and she's not in the program. She's not in this program. She has no interest in it. She thinks it's kind of stupid, which is really rough. If anybody has that situation, please find me on the phone list and we will talk. So I knew I was going to have to debt, so rather than doing it publicly in the DA, I sort of excused myself for a while. Ultimately, it did not happen. My mom gifted me the money. She said, we never really put you through college. And once you were out of the house, we remodeled and bought air conditioning and didn't have any money, but now we do, so I'm going to pay for you to go to this school that your dad thought would be good for you. My dad had already passed, so I never got to see this. It's been the best. It's exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. I never would have figured that out on my own. And, I had a couple of not great jobs, but now I work at UCLA. It's amazing. I'm in a union again. I get paid a crazy amount of money to do exactly what I like doing. And I take DA for granted constantly. The impact it's had on my life, I discount it all the time. I think it's me or something, but it's showing up, it's following the directions, it's having a sponsor, it's having regular PRGs, it's trying to give back. I don't share a lot here because it's kind of a shit show trying to get picked on. Don't take it personally. Just grab somebody after the meeting and talk to them. Call somebody on the phone. Get a crew of people that know you, even if it's from some other program. Get somebody that you can talk to and tell them what's going on. Anyways, I'm very grateful. My biggest concern now is how do I continue this in a place that has no face-to-face meetings. I've got a phone number of somebody that's done it. They've started a bunch of meetings. I'm going to call her, and I've got the phone list, and I know you guys. And wish me luck. Thanks.
Yeah.